good day and welcome to our channel. This is the best elegant outfit. Welcome to our tutorials. We are cutting a shirt today, and this is the measurement we'll be working with. Our shoulder is 20, our chest is 40, our sleeve 25, shirt length 37, and our neck 16.5. So we'll get right into the video. So first of all, before you cut a senator, you need your pressing iron to straighten out the fabric so that you won't have any wrinkles, so that your cutting will be accurate. So now this is our good side, so you fold it on the bad side. Fold it towards the bad side. So now we'll fold it with our measurement also. Our measurement is 40 inches for chest. So we're having 40 divided by 4. We divide our tape into 4, which will give us 10. 40 divided by 4, 10. So the box frame we'll be using to cut this cloth will be 10 plus 2.5 inches for our folding allowances. So we'll be folding with 12.5 all through. 12.5 all through. All through 12.5. Then we give it a press. I will give it a press to get our line. You see how smooth it is. So we'll start interpreting our measurements. This is a white cloth, so we're making use of our pencil. So the shoulder is 20. Measure our 20 inches. 20 inches, and then we'll mark it out. Then our shoulder slant is 3 inches. Then we'll draw a straight line. Draw a straight line. Then we said our shoulder is 20. We'll mark 20 plus ½ inch allowance for the joining. Then our sleeve, our armhole, will be using 7 inches. 7 inches here for our armhole. We'll get a straight line. Then curve it. Then we'll still shape it at the front. When we get to the back, we'll still shape it. So now our chest is 40. We mark our 40 inches plus our 1 inch allowance. plus 1 inch allowance. Then we measure our shirt length, which is 37 inches. We give allowance of 3.5 inches. 1 2 3 3.5, which is 40.5. And we draw a straight line. The allowance is for the folding, because native folding is supposed to be thick. You don't fold native very light. The thicker it is, the more professional it is. So we now come to our chest drafting. So here we'll be using 18 inches for our slit. Then on this part, we'll be interpreting our chest measurement in 3 parts, because we need to give a shape. There's a shape that native needs to have to give it a perfect fitting, especially when you are sewing for a client who doesn't have a big tummy. If it's if a person wants the clothes fitted, you need to make it fitted. So on that note, we'll be giving the clothes a shape. On this, we'll mark 6 inches here. I'll mark out 12 inches here. So on this part, which we have done before, we'll be using 10 inches, which is the 40. This is 40 plus 1 inch. On this part, we'll be using 38. This is where we'll get our shape. 38, which is 9.5. We'll add our 1 inch allowance. On this part again, we'll repeat our 40, which is 10 inches. Add 1 inch. Then on this last part, we'll be making it 40.5 because of our hip. So I added 0.3 extra. I added 0.3 extra. Instead of using 40 as I used here, I used 10.3. So now you connect your lines together. Good. So this is it for the front. Then we cut. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section and I will attend to you. So now we'll cut our front. So please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please endeavor to do so. That will be your way of encouraging me to also keep on uploading new contents, and also educating you on how to sew everything in male clothing. Very soon I'll be uploading how I cut my suits and how I draft my waistcoats, both the drafting and the cutting. So I'd like you to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of those. So this is it for the front cutting. We are done with the drafting and cutting. Now we'll be going to the back. So at this back part, we'll be using the opposite to cut the back. And another thing you should take care of or take note of when you are cutting your clothes is that when you are cutting a native or anywhere at all, you should also pay attention to the pattern of the dress. For this one, I'm able to turn it because there's no pattern. But in a situation whereby you have a dress that has maybe a school uniform that has name printed on it, then you know this cutting pattern will not work. Or you have a church uniform that has name printed on it, this cutting pattern will not work for it, because you have to maintain your pattern at all times. The pattern is more important than how you place your clothes. On that note, you'll be placing it the opposite side to cut it, because you also need to maintain your writing, so your writing does not turn opposite. So we'll press it also to get our ghetto line, just like we did to the front, before we can cut, so that our cutting will be also as smooth as we need it to be. So now I will follow the pattern exactly from the down. The same shape exactly from the down to the shoulder, to the armpit. So now when you get to this point, you don't cut exactly, you give allowance for your shoulder. So I'll be taking it down, so we can be able to mark our upside very well because of the length of the clothes. So now here we are. So at this point, at this upside, you give 4.5 inch allowance for your folding, 4.5 inch allowance for your overlap. Because if you notice, on every native, the back is always longer than the front. So to get that perfect overlapping effect, you make your front longer with 4.5 inches. Some people use 3 inches. Some others use 3.5, 4 inches, depending. But I think this is the best pattern I've found out so far, because in native, when your folding is too small, it doesn't really give a clean work. But when your folding is thick like this, and you fold it this way, this is what you have, and to give you what you want. So we'll take this off. Then to complete our drafting, we'll turn this to this pattern, to this side. So please, if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please do so. Encourage us, please, by subscribing to our channel. Like our video, share with your friends, share with your colleagues, so that they'll be part of this family also. Thank you. So at this point, we'll now interpret our measurements of our shoulder and our neck, and after that we are done with the drafting. So now we fold our neck with 0.5. First mark out 0.5, which is your joining allowance, your stitching allowance. Mark out your 0.5, then you press it down so it doesn't shift. Then on our shoulder, we said we are using 20 inches for the shoulder. You mark your 20 inches, then half-inch allowance, joining allowance, and we'll cut our armpits. So if you notice, your armhole is supposed to come to the front, your sleeve is supposed to come to the front, and to get that effect, we make the front more deeper than the back with half-inch. So this is it. The back is straight, while the front comes in with half-inch. Then on our neck now, we are bringing out our neck measurement, which is 16.5, and to get that, I'm using 4.5 here, 4.5 inches, and 2.5 inches here. I will mark it, then I will measure it, and see if it gives me what I want. If it doesn't, I will still increase it and reduce it to be able to get exactly what I want. The material shifted a bit, so you press it to make it on half-inch. So now we'll measure. You measure on the line. This is 16.5, exactly how we want it. So you cut it up, you cut it out. I will also be uploading a video on how to sew a senator on this channel, so do well to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that when I upload the video, you'll be notified first. So on this part, we dip it with half-inch. So this is how our neck should be. This is the shape of the neck. So thank you for staying to this point. Remaining to cut the sleeve of our senator wear. So I'll fold this and then we'll draft our sleeve. We arrange our clothes also as usual on the bad face. So at this point I'll be using 9.5 inches because the armpit is not really big. But if you're sewing for someone who has a chest of like 44, 45, 46, you can use 10 inches. If you're sewing for people 48 and above, you can use 10.5 inches on this place. So I'm using 9.5. Then I press it down. Press it down, then I do my drafting. On this place, if you notice there's a curve on your armpits, so we transfer that curve to our clothes. We do it with 5 inches. So the shape is like the shape of an S. So this is how we draft, this is how we cover our armpits. So after this, you measure your length. Our length is 25. Mark 25. Then we'll be removing 1/2 inch here for joining our cufflinks, and 1/2 inch again for joining of the shoulder. Then our cufflinks will be 3 inches. So we are subtracting 2 inches from our measurements. I don't know if you understand. Let me go again. Now we have 25 inches as our length. The cufflinks we are using is 3 inches. So 25 minus 3 inches, we have 23. We have 22, right? 25 minus 3, we have 22. Then we'll be adding 1/2 inch for our sewing in our armpits, and 1/2 inch for joining the cufflinks, the links band. So we're having 23. So that in short form, you just subtract 2 inches from your original length. And we'll draw a straight line. I'll be using 6.5 for this, for the width. And then you connect your line together. And we cut. So if you've stayed with us to this point, we want to thank you very much for watching our video, for supporting our content. We want you to help us by subscribing. Please subscribe to our channel, support us, like us, comment. If you have any questions, we'll attend to you immediately. We'll answer your questions. And if you have any video you want me to work on, to post about, please kindly inform me in the comment section. So that is it for this. and I'll be using the same pattern to cut out the back flap, the back of the sleeve. So